guys know that we sold our home, I think it was like March, April, and we sold it in 10 days, guys. So I have come up with the 10 things that we did in order to get ready to put our house on the market. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Okay, so number one is you've got to love the house that you're selling. I know that makes absolutely no sense whenever you think about it, because why would you sell the house if you loved it so much? But think about it this way, okay? You're going to go and buy a new car, and you get there and the salesperson tells you, you know, this is a lousy car. You know, it's been wrecked before, and you know, there's something stuck underneath one of the seats, and you know, the tires are almost bald, and oh yeah, the insurance is crazy for this type of car. Of course you wouldn't buy the car, right? Because they're telling you everything that's wrong with the car. So you have to remember whenever you sell a house, and this is number one, I think. I would say probably above anything else that I'm going to tell you, is that you have to fall in love with your house again. You have to remember why you even bought the house to begin with, right? So think about what it was that you loved about it. Was it the neighborhood that you loved? Was it the fact that it had, you know, an office? Or was it, you know, the carpeting? Or was it the hardwood floors? Or, you know, was it special colors? Or, you know, did you envision having, you know, these great neighbors and doing things with the neighbors? Whatever it was, you have to revisit that and remember, because as you are working on your house and doing things with your house, you have to remember what it was that you fell in love with, because the people that come into your house and they go to open houses at your house, or they see the pictures of your house on the internet or real estate sites, or, you know, whatever, they have to fall in love with your house too. So if you're hating this place, all the trouble, and you remember this happened and that happened and I had to pay money for this, and all of those horrible things that happen really in any house, if you are thinking about all of those things, then your message coming across to people that are wanting to look at your house as a potential for them to live in, they're not going to want to live there either, right? If you want to get the heck out, they won't even want to get in, right? So you have to think about that before you sell your house. And that is the absolute must. You have to love your home before you can sell it, because nobody's going to love it if you don't love it, right? So, number one, you must love your home, remember what it was that you loved about it, and then you have to bring those things back to life, because you've got to make other people fall in love with it so they actually want to buy it, okay? So number two kind of goes hand in hand with this. Number two is you have to write a letter, okay? So you've got everything done in the house, and we're going to talk about all the things that you need to do. That's coming next. But you have, once all of that stuff is done, okay, you have to write a letter to the person that's going to buy your house. I know this sounds so HGTV, but I'm telling you, I wrote a letter. We had maybe 3 or 4 people look at our house, and that letter made all the difference in the world, okay? Because I explained to them what it was that I loved about the house. What, not just the house, but the home that we had made it into, the neighbors that made it an awesome place to live, the fact that it was close to everything. I just kind of listed off all of these great things and told them how awesome it would be to live there, okay? And I wrote the letter to, I can't remember who I addressed it to, but to the new owner or something. And I just already assumed that they were going to want to buy this house, because who wouldn't, right? It was a great house, because I had remembered all of those things that we had done, all the special Thanksgiving meals and all the get-togethers and all the, you know, whenever we had friends over for bonfires, and all of those things I wrapped up in this letter that really was maybe a half a page long. But after reading it, I'm sure, especially women, because women, we buy with emotion, okay? We buy with our emotion. And if we can tune in to that other person's emotion and what they want for their kids or what they want for their home or their family, of course they're going to want to buy your home. So think about those things before you go to sell a house. Make sure that you write the letter, because even though it can be done in a matter of 30 minutes, it's the key to selling it. And it makes all the difference in the world, because they may look at, 10 houses in one day, and, they're going to remember the house that had the letter on the table to them personally, right? Even though it wasn't addressed to them, it made sense to them. And it reminded them of all the things that they could do if they bought this house. Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, you absolutely must paint every single wall in your house if you want to sell it. I know some of you may be thinking, Rebecca, oh my gosh, I just painted this last year. Why do I need to paint it again? Well, you can not paint it and see how it goes, but you can also paint it and have the understanding that it's fresh and new, right? You don't want to go out and buy something at the thrift store when, this is going to be your home, right? You want to have it fresh and new. Even if it's an older house, having a fresh new paint job and having the smell of that makes us think that it's newer, right? It makes us think that it's new and it's fresh and it's ours and we're going to live here and we don't have to worry about painting the walls whenever we move in, right? It may make you no difference, and you might go out and buy your next house and know that you're going to have to paint or have somebody paint, but it's going to make all the difference between maybe a potential buyer and maybe one that's going to just walk away, because it was the fresh paint and that idea of not having to do that whenever you move in, okay? Now, on to something about colors, okay? I love color. I absolutely love it. I know you guys have seen me do different rooms, and a lot of times they're neutral and they're whites and all of this, but before, probably 4 or 5 years ago, all my rooms were like different colors because I loved to decorate, and there's no cheaper way of decorating than to have color, put color on your wall, because paint's cheap, right? And so I'd have that bright burgundy dining room, and the bathroom that was this pretty blue emerald color, and I had, my son's room was blue and my daughter's room was pink, and all of these different colors, and they may make meaning in your personal life, but I promise you, they will not make meaning into somebody that's looking to buy your home. The best bet is to go out and find the most neutral colors there are. If it's beiges, or if you like cooler gray colors, or just go with a complete basic white, get the satin sheen where it's, semi, like you can wash it. People like that in general. People like that. I know there'll be a couple of you that say, that's not what I wanted. But if you get a neutral color that is easily washed, that appeals to the majority of the buyers that are out there. So think about that. Whenever you go to paint, you're spending the extra money, just get the neutral colors. Okay, we're going to, sell our house in 6 months. I'm just going to go ahead and paint this room now in that neutral color and start working on it. We invited people over. We had the paint party. We're like, okay, we put out all the plastic. We got everything, all the ladders, and somebody did the wood, by the woodwork, and other people did the rollers, and we made a party, we made it fun, and, we made memories as we did it. So, I'd really, if you're going to do something to sell the house, getting a fresh paint job is the key, okay? Once those pictures, this is number 4, once those pictures, those walls are done, it's time to take the pictures. Now, nothing against real estate agents, but we had an exceptional real estate agent, and I'll link her below because she was absolutely fabulous, and she always uses professional photos. She has a professional photographer come in. She knows exactly how to do the lighting, what to focus on in the room, all of those things, and she takes her pictures and whenever she uploads those to the internet on the site, those pictures look phenomenal, okay? Yes, our house was fabulous, but it looks even more fabulous once we look at these pictures. So that is just key also. I know I keep saying that, but number 4, making sure that your real estate agent is invested in selling your house. And so yes, it costs money to pay for that photographer. And yes, your real estate person has to come up with that money in order to do that. That's not something that she asked me to do, okay? That was her decision. I was going to ask for that, but that was her decision to do. And I was grateful for it, because having professionally done pictures, it's kind of like the difference between getting your kids' school pictures done at school. Nothing wrong with those. But then you see these amazing fall family photos that these photographers charge big bucks for, right? That look, wow, like it makes you stop, it makes you pause, and it makes you look longer. And that's what you want somebody to do whenever they're buying your house, right? You want that person to just go the extra mile, look a little longer, picture themselves in that place. That is the key to selling your house, okay? Number 6, you need to have something unique about your house. Something that people are going to remember. Something that, is maybe popular right now, or something that maybe you've seen on HGTV, something maybe you've seen at an open house that you went to and looking for your new house. Spend the extra dime to make a unique feature in your home, because that is what they're going to take away from your home and what the photographer is going to focus on whenever they're taking pictures. It's going to make the difference between somebody overlooking your house and buying your neighbor's house versus buying yours. So one of the things that we did with our house is we created a wall that was just wood. Different woods that we had stained in different colors. It was in our dining room, and it was a very prominent wall that made a big deal, okay? It wasn't something that we covered up. It made it very warm in there. Not warm like, boy, we need a sweater, but warm as in the color, and it felt farmhousey, which is very popular right now, and it made all the difference in the world. But you can do the same thing with wallpaper, I've seen, with different textures that you can put on walls. Some people will do a whole wall of like bookshelves, or that board and batten, I think is what it's called. I mean, I've seen them do different types of unique styles that will really make people say, oh yeah, that was the house that had this. And that's what you want to, not just the letter, not just, all the things that we've already talked about, the fresh paint and the great pictures, but also it has something unique about it, okay? And I don't mean like it has shag carpeting and, some kind of 70s style fixtures. Not unless the whole house is done like that and it's awesome. So think about that, okay? The next thing is, I think this is number 7. I may be giving you more because I've lost count. The next thing is to downsize. Now, this is a hard one because if you know me, you know I like stuff. And I like to, I'm a hoarder, and I collect owls, and I collect holiday stuff, as you can tell from the background here. I'm a collector, and so I always have lots of books and lots of stuff all over my house. But when you are getting ready to sell your house, no one cares about your owl collection, or no one cares about all your bookshelves full of memorabilia that you have, or the fact that you collected your school fundraising stuff that everybody buys, all the moms buy, okay? Those are wonderful. And there's definitely a place in your new home for them, so pack them away nice and neat and get rid of them. And I don't mean to get rid of them in your garage or get rid of them in your basement, okay? Because when you come into a home, you want to see the home, okay? So spend the extra money, and this is important, so listen up. Spend the extra money and get one of those storage units, maybe get several storage units like we did, and put all your stuff in boxes. You're going to be moving it anyway, okay? It needs to go in boxes. Yes, you might not see it for the next 3 or 4 months. That's okay. Okay, you're going to sell your house, and this is the process. So stick all of these things, in boxes, wrap them up, label them. Kids' mementos are pictures, make sure that you take all of that personal stuff off of the bookshelves. All of those pictures of all your kids through the years, take all of those down. No one cares about those but you, okay? They want to see the wall behind those pictures. So take them all down before you paint, put them all in boxes, wrap them up, and have somebody, or you put them, take them one at a time or whatever, box them up and ship them off to your storage unit. I know it costs money. It might cost you $100 or even $200 to store this stuff while you're trying to sell your house. But I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. And if you want to sell your house in 10 days, this is how you're going to do it, okay? People need to come in and they need to feel like there's lots and lots of space, okay? I must be choking today on all of this pollen out here because I didn't choke all day long and now all I can do is cough. I swear to you, this is tea. This is not the wine that I'm drinking throughout the day. Anywho, so that's what you need to do, is to make sure all those personal belongings are taken off your wall and put up. And make sure, there's nothing worse than trying to look at somebody's garage or trying to look at somebody's basement and you can't really see what's going on because there's so many boxes and there's so much crap everywhere, okay? So you don't want to be that house that everybody remembers because of all the crap everywhere. You want to be the house that everybody remembers because it was such a cool experience that you want to go back there, okay? Number 8 is curb appeal, okay? Your house is great. You've done everything that I've told you to do, plus your own stuff that you've looked up on Pinterest and HGTV. But the outside of your house looks like the backside of hard times, okay? Like, it is horrendous. There's dirt everywhere, there's patches of grass, there's, clutter from years gone by, and it looks horrible, okay? Most people buy homes today, or at least have a pretty good idea that they want to buy a home today because they've looked at pictures on the internet. If your picture from the front view of your house looks like, like something you would never even want to go in, let alone live there, you're not going to appeal to the buyer. So you want to make sure your outside curb appeal looks fantastic. Now, I know that there are some things that you cannot control, okay? Maybe your neighbor is a hoarder and, collects all kinds of junk and has a million dogs and, just a yard that's atrocious. There's only certain things that you can do, I get it. But you have to make your area, your environment outside of your house look fabulous. First of all, for the pictures. Second of all, because you want to welcome people in, and if they don't like the outside of your home, they are not going to come inside, which means that they are not going to buy your house. So if you want to sell your house, the outside has to take priority, okay? People buy homes all year long. So it doesn't matter if it's wintertime or if it's springtime. Of course, spring and summer are great months to sell a house in. You can have flowers and you can do all kinds of great stuff with landscaping. I know all of those, but you can also sell a house in the fall. I mean, look at the decorations behind me. Who wouldn't want to come into the house and say, hey, I want to see the inside of this great house, okay? Same thing with, around the holidays, around Christmas or, whatever holiday that you celebrate, that's okay. We just don't want to overpower them that whenever they walk in, they're like, oh my gosh, I've seen some people's houses with the holidays, it gets crazy. So you might have to use a little restraint whenever it comes to decorating during the holidays, but you want the outside as well as the inside to be welcoming to people to come in, okay? Number 8. Number 9. Number 9, if I haven't lost count, I think it's number 9. Number 9 is to stage your home. So this really is important for everyone, but also to people who have to move, okay? Maybe they're in the military, maybe they are, their other house came up, their husband switched jobs, whatever the reason is, you've had to move, so you've moved all your belongings and you've left. Even though we bought this house and it was completely empty, this house sat on the market for I'm thinking it sat on the market for maybe 2 years, maybe longer. It was not staged, and so people could not see whenever they came in how to set up this house to make it their house, okay? And so it is important to set it up to make it look like most people would have it set up, okay? And they could live in it, okay? So that means that you set up the dining room not as the preschool that you run out of your house every day, but as a real dining room, because most people don't own daycares, okay? So we want to set up each room the way it's supposed to be set up. So if it's the living room, set it up with couches and chairs. If it is the dining room, set it up with a table with chairs. If it's a bedroom, set it up as a bedroom with your bed and your dresser, what you would normally find in your bedroom. Now, one of the things with my daughter is the hoarder just like I am, and so she had lots and lots of toys and teepees and things, toy boxes and desks, and just, she's a drawer, so there's walls were plastered with artwork, and all of those things are nice, and they're in her new room. But whenever you go to sell a house, you want to make sure that it appeals to your buyer and they don't care about your daughter's artwork, okay? So all those things have to come down, and it has to be a bedroom. It's not a teepee Indian room, okay? We have to sell it the way most people would use it, okay? And in a bedroom, there is a bed, there is a nightstand, maybe 2 nightstands, and there's a dresser. You don't need 5 dressers. You need 1 dresser, maybe 2 nightstands, maybe 1, depending on the size of the room, and a bed. You don't need all of that stuff. And if you don't have that stuff in it, people can't see what that room is for. It's really hard for the average person to walk into a room and say, is this room really big enough? I mean, it seems like it's big enough, but I don't know. And so maybe your smaller rooms are turning your buyer off because they can't see what it would be like with furniture in it, okay? So it's really important to set up those rooms, even if it's just a couch and a chair, to be able to give it more space, to feel like there's more space. I've been in houses, in open houses, where the couches and the chairs line the whole room. And so I walk out going, oh my gosh, like they need an interior designer. Like this isn't good. Are lined up like they're at school where all these chairs are everywhere, okay? So make sure, and if you don't have any idea as far as how to do that, how to design those kind of things, I want you to wait until the very end of the video, and I have some really great information for you. But think about that. How you're going to set up each room, and then get rid of all the excess. Pack it up and get rid of it, because you don't need to hold on to that stuff until you get the new house that you're buying, okay? Number 10, and this is one I absolutely, positively love, and that is make your house smell good, okay? One of the things that everyone always commented was, that's the house that smells like cookies, okay? I actually had a man that delivered pizza to my house, and he said, every time we walk by your house, my daughter says, I wish we lived there. And of course, that I was like, thank you so much. That makes you feel so good that your house looks that good, right? But when I opened the door to get the pizza out of his hand, and he told me that, the first thing he said was, your house smells as good as what it looks. And that is one of those lasting impressions. We've talked about making sure that your house is all painted and nice and new looking, making sure you have that unique accent wall that everybody is wanting nowadays, okay? But it's just one accent wall. It's not every wall that they're going to have to change if they don't like it, okay? Making sure that things are not cluttered and, everything's decluttered and looking nice and neat, okay? The last thing is making sure it smells good, okay? And appeal to something that people like. People love sweets. They love dessert. And so one of the things that real estate agents used to do in the past was they would go and put in some of those little cookies. They wouldn't make their whole batch of cookies, but they would go to Walmart and buy some of those little frozen or squared cookies, and they'd put them in the oven, and then they'd serve them whenever somebody got there for the open house. But not every real estate person and not everybody has time to go make some cookies, right? So great thing is there's these wax warmers now that, guess what the smell is? Cookies, okay? I would always get sugar cookies or brownie pecans or something that smelled really good and really sweet. So as soon as they open that front door, they're like, holy cow, I want to stay in here because for some reason I like it in here, okay? Maybe they won't even, you want it to appeal to every one of their senses, okay? Not only sight, but also what they hear, what they're smelling, like everything. You want it to just be a powerful experience that they are wanting to buy your house as soon as they walk out, because if they think about it for one day, the chances reduce every single day that person that came and looked at your house is going to want to buy your house later. So make sure that you grab them and you hold on to them with all of these techniques, okay? So, thank you so much for watching. I completely appreciate it. Love you guys watching it. Please subscribe and hit that little bell so you get notified whenever I upload a video. See you soon. Bye-bye.